Hello, this is J.N.S, and we're continuing with the series on the chakras and the energy points of the body. And this video, we're going to focus on the hands. Okay. And so let me share the photo that I want to share with you of the chakra energy points in the hands, and we will get started. Just like we just covered the one with the feet. Now we move on to the hands. Okay, and remember, if you don't have the working knowledge of the seven major chakras, that is something that you can look up online. We are not necessarily covering that. I have covered that on this channel previously, as well as in books. But we're focusing on the quote unquote minor chakras of the hands and feet, as well as we're going to do one on the crown area of the head, the top of the head, as well as the other eyes beyond the third eye. Okay, and so this is what we're covering with for this series. And so we see with the hands obviously hands are very, very important, very important in connecting with the electromagnetic field around us, with receiving energetic information from the universe. I remember growing up, we used to talk about the healing hands. And hands was known to, like, to heal people. You don't let everybody touch you with their hands, and people talk with their hands. So hands are very, very important conduits of psychotronic energy, from it getting expression out from the brain, as well as transmitting energy through the body, out of the body. You could do a lot of things with the hands. And so it only makes sense that you would have correspondence of the seven major chakras with um, the hands as well, just like you would in the feet. We talked about feet. And so we're just going to break it down just a little bit, a little more minute in terms of the correspondence of what each chakra means for each component of the hand. And so you see the thumb. We see the thumb right here. And remember, thumb corresponds with Manipura. And I do want to say that there are other sources in which this energy center or breakdown looks different, and I acknowledge that. I guess that depends on what school of thought you're coming from, because some people they mix this stuff all up in terms of what each correspondence relates to. If you want to know, like, okay, well, where are you drawing your sources from? Here's one of them. Serpent Rising, the Kundalini Compendium, the world's most comprehensive body of work on human energy potential. This book is about 600 pages long. It covers a 17-year Kundalini transformation journey. And so this man, I do believe he is. I know he's into the Hermetic sciences. I want to say he did Hermetic, the Golden Dawn. I know he's in. I know he was a priest of that. I mean, he was a couple of things. I think he may be a 33-degree Mason. I can't remember offhand. Let me see if I can find the information. But this guy, he's pretty well versed in a lot of esoteric knowledge, and so that's, if you want to know, like, some of the school of thought of where I'm pulling it from. There's many school of thoughts. I know there's Eastern science. Obviously, the chakra energy centers come from the East in Egypt, but the names that we are using correspond with the East. Obviously, Hindu science. And so let's continue. Just wanted to give people that information for those who wanted to see that. Okay, so let's continue here. And so remember, the Manipura is the solar plexus chakra, which corresponds to the stomach area, intestine area, and that relates to your strength, your personality, your power, and your determination. Okay. And so the next one that we have is the index finger. That's the heart chakra, the Anahata. And then remember, the heart chakra refers to your acceptance, your love, your compassion, and your sincerity. Okay, and then the next one we have the middle finger. That's Vishuddhi. And remember that corresponds to your throat chakra. That's your communication, your expressing, your creativity, and your inspiration. Then you have your ring finger. That corresponds with Muladhara. That's the root chakra. That corresponds with your stability, your energy, your comfort, your safety levels that you feel. And then you have the little finger, pinky finger. That is your Swadhisthana. That's your sacral chakra that refers to your private parts, remember. That's your sensuality, your sexuality, your pleasure, and your social ability. And then you have the actual palm, the center of the palm, that relates to your crown chakra. That's your intuition, your knowledge, your consciousness, higher consciousness, your sense of fulfillment, your sense of empowerment. Okay. And then you have this part, the ajna. I wish I could highlight this part, but you guys, the part that's right under the crown, under the center of the palm, you have your ajna, and that is your third eye chakra that relates to your intuition as well, your lucidity, meditation, and trust, sense of self. And so that makes up the energy centers of the hands. There are many more. It is much more intricate. Like, say, for instance, the part of the wrist that is also related to the Muladhara chakra, which refers to your sense of, once again, your stability. And this is just one source that we're looking at. And the palm chakra is really important for healing purposes. The middle of the palm, the crown chakra. That's where you trend. That's where that relates to your crown chakra. That's where the electromagnetic energy comes from the universe, through that chakra and through the hands. That's where a lot of your healing comes from. If you have healing hands, for those that have, everybody has the capability to heal. That is very, very true. But we have to say, me growing up, I knew people that naturally had the gift for healing. They didn't have to do anything, no practicing, no nothing, no going, no studying, no nothing. They literally just was healers. This is very common, like, say, in the quote unquote black church, or me growing up, I grew up Baptist and Pentecostal, and I remember, like, we had people that was healing. They were some was teenagers, some was kids. They would be able to heal the other people in the church, and that could be like making. We had people in the church that was blind. We had people in the church that had diabetes. We had people in the church that had kidney issues and stuff like that. And they would get like the healers with their healing hands. Usually these were women, teenage women, younger women, and they would tell them, like, oh, use your healing hands to, let's pray over them and use your healing hands. Or if it was a couple people that had healing hands, they would all put their hands on the sick person, and heal them that way. And it was really cool. And then another thing I remember witnessing at church growing up, is that they used to just have the kids do the healing, because the kids have very powerful healing hands, and they believe that they can heal. Like, if you tell a kid, oh, you can heal me, or you could get rid of my pain, a kid will actually believe that shit, and 100% of the time they will be able to heal your ass. That's why they say, it's this verse. I want to get it for you. Because this is what this verse actually really means. This become like a child verse. Matthew 18:3-5, and it says, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you would never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of the child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So the kingdom of God is within. This is a code. This is a very powerful light code. You have the kingdom of heaven within, relating to the awakening of the pineal gland, the Kundalini energy awakening experience that relates both to male and female. It is much easier for females to do this, by the way, because I know the CIA is telling people that it's only for women. That's not true. Um, and so it relates to male and female. It's just much easier for women. Women don't have to do much work to because they are the creators of the Kundalini experience. And so what this meant is when we talk about like greater work shall you do in terms of the awakening of the spiritual gifts of the Holy Spirit of God. Truly, I tell you, unless you change, let's actually let me share this for you so you can see it yourself. Unless you change and become like little children, you've never entered the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within. This is a state of consciousness. So this is the dimension of consciousness. And so that means children, they have unlimited potential in terms of their creativity. If you measure a child's creativity, like say you give them a Torrance test, right? You give children a Torrance test and you give adults a Torrance test. The children, in terms of equivalency of IQ, they would be at the genius level, like Albert Einstein level. Beyond that, it would be beyond that compared to the adult, because the child is untainted by the qualms of the world, by the self-limiting aspects of the self. Children don't have that. They don't conceive of that into the programming of the adults, into the programming of the institutions, get them to self-doubt, get them to not believe in themselves, get them to externalize their power, get them to believe in dogmatism. Children don't have any of that. This is an ancient Agori teaching too. That's why I tell you, Yeshua was learning in the East. He learned this teaching from the Agori practices. That's why I told you the Dragon Riders have extensive knowledge in this. This is where he came from. When he to give you this is very deep and powerful, because this was revealed to me from the spiritual realm. Like, this is the practice from the Agori about children don't discriminate against gross forms. The children doesn't discriminate, and they took that teaching and completely bastardized it, completely just did some horrific things with it down here on planet Earth. But that was to get, say, for those of us that are in a denser form of existence in a physical body in 3D, 4D, 5D, that was pretty much just to teach humans, like, you got to really, really be unlimited in your expanded view of yourself and of your capabilities and potential and power. That's literally all it meant. And through that, you are able to enter the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God within. The opening of the Kundalini, the opening of the pineal gland, the experiences of your own divinity, the awakening of your own divinity through through this curiosity, through the empty. It's not so much that you're being teachable or agreeable, but the gratitude and the curiosity and the creativity of a child, of them being open to knowledge, being open to learn, being open to the expansive knowledge of the universe, and being connected to the etheric side still. Children are very close to the etheric aspect of themselves, to their higher self. They're still connected to that, very much so. And so that's also what that meant. Connect with your astral self, your astral cord. You know, the baby, they cut the umbilical cord off the baby. In spiritual sense, that cord is still there. But the baby, since they just got theirs cut off, like 5, 6, 10 year, 7 year, those under 12, they still are connected more so with their etheric body. And so when Yeshua is telling you, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you have to connect with your etheric cord, umbilical cord still, so that you can receive information from the astral body. This is an ancient Buddhist teaching as well. So again, that's why I said he was in the East studying these things. It should be very obvious. During his years missing, the years that he was going missing, studying these things, is a practice from the Buddhists that teach this as well, how to connect from your etheric cord, transmute information. I'm not going to teach that here on YouTube. Actually, I'm going to stop talking about it, because that is a teaching that it's still covert in a sense. It's out and it's public, but I'll just say you need to connect with the higher self and the higher octave of yourself, as if you were a child, just out of the womb. That's just fresh from the ether, expanded in creativity, expanded and limitless. And that will allow you to do the healing things and the waking up people from the dead. And because your mind is your crown chakra is so open still. Babies, that's why the center of the head is so soft of a child, the crown chakra, and so open. And even though they can't talk and express themselves, these are very, very etheric creatures. Children are very special. And um, down here they treat children like crap on planet Earth. But children are very, very special. If a lot of guests you see in the Matrix movie, remember in the Matrix movie when they showed them kids when they had the Oracle, the black woman Oracle, and they had all the little children out there playing, and they showing all the little gifts of telekinesis and levitation and all that stuff with the electromagnetic levitation of the objects around. That shit is real. That's why they showed the kids with the gifts. Same thing with X-Men when they had the school for the kids. They're trying to put these stuff out there. People think it's fake, but it's real. For those that's in the know, it's totally real. They just think it's a movie or something. But yes, you become like kids, and you're able to do the healing of the hands. Okay, and that's why in the church, in the black church, they had the kids. Well, at least in Buffalo, New York, they would have the kids come and do the healing of the old ass adults, because the adults they feel like they can't heal themselves, and on a subconscious level, even though like the black church is not familiar with chakras of the hands and the different aspects of the of the energy points of electromagnetic, they don't know necessarily those terms, right? But they know intuitively that children etheric are more etheric and have more belief in faith. And if you tell if you like, we used to tell the black kids in church, you have healing hands, you can heal. Them kids really think they can heal, and because of their power, because of their psychotronic power from the crown chakra, boom, they ass is motherfucking healing. And I've seen this in action. I've seen this. I had family members, and when I was young, some kids, I'm sorry, they just have, some people are just born with gifts more than others, right? There was a kid in my family, right? Healing hands. And I'm telling you, no matter what, any type of little pain you get, any type of pain, any type of sickness, any type of pain, like this kid could put. And he used to be so dramatic, like how a black boy be so dramatic, And I used to, if I used to get a pain in my leg, I used to say, "Come heal Auntie's leg, come heal." And he would just be doing all these, how you come, you see a movie and they doing all this dramatic stuff with their hands. That's how he would be coming at me. He would be doing all this dramatic stuff with their hands, and you see the superheroes in the movie doing like the hawk movement and all that stuff. This with this little kid, this little black kid would be doing that, and he would do all this dramatic shit and put his hands on my legs, like boom, and if he do like you should have seen the look. I wish I could have recorded it. Like it would just be so dramatic, and he would be putting his vibrating his hand like, oh, doing all these crazy faces. Oh. But I'm telling you, that motherfucking pain was gone. I ain't even go hold you. I was like, and I used to be cracking up, and obviously you have to believe, and this is why when Yeshua used to do healing, you have to believe. He was telling them, you have to heal. Do you believe that I can heal you? And because they were in such a desperate state of mind to be healed, he already had this ancient science of the East and of the West and of Africa. He already had all these ancient. He had this shit down pat as far as the intergalactic mentalism, the stuff that he was trying to teach other people that actually got his ass killed. That's why they killed him. And so this is stuff that only secret society is supposed to know. But he was just like, hey, what do you mean? He's from our dimension. So he goes and he asks, do you believe I kill you? If two people, that's why I said when two or more people are gathered, there I am there. We're talking about the God molecule. That's the God particle. That's the real God particle. You don't need a CERN machine. The real God particle is two or more people in believing in their intergalactic mentalism. That's when two or more people, there I am, the Holy Spirit. And this is esoteric code here, but this is referring to that God particle consciousness that is going to be able to be ushered in between two people, two or three are gathered. There I am in my name, they believing. And so you have even with the child, the children automatically they're closer to understanding of the etheric side, so they believe that they can heal. And then you have the adult that believe that the child can heal, and your motherfucking ass is gonna get healed. and the child, they have electromagnetic forces from the hands, from the crown chakra, from the crown of the palm. I put the hands on the legs, or whatever, cramp, or whatever, headache, and your ass will be healed. And it happened every time. That little kid used to be acting so dramatic. So, putting your hands, you put the hands on the head, gotta shake your head, and she just speaking in tongues. And your headache will be gone. Your headache, I don't know what you did, but it worked. It used to be so hilarious. It used to be cracking up, like really, like. But that's just was his little thing. That was just his little thing, and and I've had friends that had healing hands, as we call it, and so it is a real thing. It is totally, it is not hogwash. Can be found in even in Sufism with the healing. It's in every mystic school of thought, and so it's clearly encoded even in the Bible. I just gave you the example of if you look at some of the way he was doing the healing, and then when the verses you put them together when you talk about become like a child, and you cross references with the teachings of the Agori and the Buddhist teachings, the teachings of the East. Agori is a Hindu teaching, and people say like, no, this is supposed to be separate or whatever, and we trying to study, the angels. We were literally trying to like this. This information is cross sectional because of a very specific interdimensional beings that came down here that were all related from the same family that came down here, whether they were on one side of the coin or the other, whether they were the fallen angel or whether they were the one that was trying to come down to correct the shit that was going on down here. They still share a bloodline through that realm, and they were trying to get that information out to humans. And unfortunately, some of the information was hidden, or some of the information was completely bastardized. Now, when they talk about you become like a child has no discrimination of between gross forms, between feces, between feces or a diamond and whatever. That was not meant to be like, oh, that means we can do whatever we want. That was interpreted by like those like Satanists or whatever, that they took those teachings and it was like, okay, that means we can do whatever we want. And that was not what that meant. That was actually transcendence. That's what transcendence looks like. That's what enlightenment looks like. Someone that is enlightened doesn't see they're going to look at the gold, a block of gold. They're going to look at a diamond. They're going to look at a blade of grass. They're going to look at feces, and it's all going to look, as far as the perception and non-perception element of equanimity, it's going to be the same to them. They're not going to they don't have that knowledge of discrimination because they're in bliss consciousness. They're in bliss consciousness that is like connected to the crown chakra, which is what a baby is. And that's why they treat babies like crap on this planet. They treat children like crap on this planet because they derive energy from reverse engineering all of sacred teachings down here. And for those who catch the code, that is what Ryan Garcia is trying to wake y'all up to. But they're trying to say he's crazy and do drugs. But no, he does not crazy or do drugs. I know exactly what that man is talking about. And yes, it is a problem with what they're doing with children on this planet. And so, at the higher levels. But this is what this stuff meant. This is what this stuff meant. Okay, and so let's continue just a little bit further. And so again, that palm chakra, that's most important. That reflects to the top of the head, okay? And that's your spirit element, the middle of the palm. And that's crucial for the Kundalini transformation, because that's how you infuse the spirit energy into the body. So that's why that area of the hand is so important. That's why people put their palms on on people's heads and whatnot, and to transmute the spirit from their crown chakra into, they used to give knock people out with the Holy Spirit, right? Remember back in the Pentecostal church, they believe where people pass out when the pastor put the hands on someone's head and they pass. Oh my gosh! Oh. Sometimes people was playing around. Sometimes people was wanting attention. Sometimes people really was, but a lot of that shit was real. Some of that is real. I know for a fact that can happen. I have seen it. It has happened to me. I have done it to other people. I know that you can put your motherfucking hand on someone's head, and from the palm of that hand, that's connected to the God particle, the crown chakra, you put that hand on that person's forehead and you prophesizing over them. You could prophesize over someone's life. You can have God speak through it and put your hand on their head, and that hand, that power would be so powerful that motherfucker would pass out. They'll pass right on out on the ground. Okay, and it's a real thing, or they'll start shaking and convulsing. I have seen that happen. You put your hand on someone, they start shaking and convulsing and all that stuff. That's real. It's energy transformation. And so now for those that's still maybe in the church or whatever, now you kind of know a working knowledge of where that comes from in terms of the energy points, that this connects to your electromagnetic field. That energy enters through the top of the head, the crown chakra, and it discharges out through the feet, or it can be transmuted back into the feet, back up out of the head, connects you to heaven and earth at the same time. That is why you have chakras in the head. That is why you have chakras in the feet. That's why you have chakras in the hand. And that is how you control the electromagnetic grid around you. Because we're all photon beings. And so for those that's like that wonder where that stuff comes from, I'll give you another one. Like a lot of times, when you see these pastors, they was putting their hands on people's heads and like Benny Hinn and all that stuff. I'm not coming at people. A lot of times they know this knowledge. They're not telling you that they know it, but they have to know. You have to know these things. This is a big secret. Amongst that they keep to themselves. That the pastors are esotericists, that they are occultists, that they are even if they don't call themselves occultists, that they are they have working bodies of knowledge that are extensive in the esoteric mystical sciences. You would have to. It's just common sense. Anybody that's really, 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 really studying that book, really, 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 really studying the teachings of Yeshua, you would realize, okay, you need that. Where is this science coming from? Where is this knowledge coming from? And so, like when we see like a lot of the pastors, they would everybody will fall all out. They lift their hands up and everybody falls all out and stuff. They're using they're using this science. It's as simple as that. This is the breakdown of it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to acknowledge it. You don't have to care. It's just, I'm just putting it out there. I knew this when I was 18 years old because I started seeing, because at that time I was going to go to seminary to become a pastor and whatnot, but I didn't go to seminary. Because I just started to expand my consciousness, and I started to just, I was self-taught. I'm self-taught. So I'm autodidact in a lot of things. I'm not initiated into anything. I teach myself and listen to others and gain knowledge that way from the intuitive realm, as well as listening to people that I respect and that I deem wise, and reading. Simple as that. But when I was 18, I used to see, certain things. I used to look at Kenneth Copeland and all that stuff, and I used to see different spirits on them. I used to be like, oh, they ain't, there's something else going on there. And then you find out that they are Masons, or you find out that they have different energies within a background. Some of them come from Hindu backgrounds and all this stuff. And so I'm not pushing anything on anybody. I'm just shedding the light. I'm just saying that a lot of those pastors, they have working knowledges of the stuff that I'm already talking about. It's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. And so when we talk about the spirit element of the hand chakras, we have the throat chakra is obviously a part of the spirit element. And you have the two chakras above the throat chakra, which is your eye chakra and your Sahasrara. Okay. And remember, that refers to your crown chakra, Sahasrara. And that energy is a healing energy is also generated in the Ananata aspect, and it goes through the palm. And so it goes through the index finger. That's why pointing is so important. Like people be pointing. It's like people point at you, they point, people don't like people to point at them for those reasons. Because you can also reverse engineer this and send out crazy ass energy to people too, through pointing and through the hands, right? You can send out, you can transmit people's power and try to, do things through the hands. That's why people don't like people touching them. So people won't let you touch them. It's not a bad thing. But the heart chakra, the index finger, healing energy comes from there and then goes through the palm as well. Okay. And so the throat chakra also becomes very important too, because throat chakra is your heka. And so that's your middle finger. That's why people, they put up their middle finger. It means F you and all that stuff. But middle finger doesn't have to mean F you. Right? It doesn't have to mean that. But that's what people do. I want to cover because there's the earth dignitaries, elemental dignitaries that also refer to the fingers. And I think that that's important to talk about. And so I want to give out that information as well. I want to show the hands Okay, I'm just trying to pull up a resource here. But people be pointing, and you can see your psychotronics is the mind science, right? That's intergalactic mentalism. You can do psychotronics through your hands. That's why people talk with their hands. That's the heka. And so you heal with the hands through the throat chakra and through the heart chakra and the crown chakra. But you can also do the opposite, and you use psychotronics normally to do that. That's psychotronics is the using the energetic the electromagnetic field around you through your heka and your mind to influence things. And eyes and hands are the most important way to do psychotronics. So hands become very, very, very important. I'm looking for that document. I had made like a document on it. What did I do with it? Links to content. Still looking for it, guys. Third Pinnacle, Octaves, not there. Primordial Nakti, right? Maybe I put it in the Kali J.N.S. because I started, I'm coming up with different mudras that's being channeled to me. And so I had to understand like the different components of the hands to create mudras myself. And so I need to find, if I can't find that document, maybe it's here. Where is that? Okay, I believe this is it. I think I found it. And I need to do a better job of organizing my material better. Okay. Here we go. This is what I want to share you. So we have the thumb. You see the thumb. That corresponds to fire. Okay. And so that offers the warmth of the breath. Then you have your index finger. That it refers to the air element. So now we have heart and air and the spirit element. Air is also a component of the spirit element. And then you have the middle finger, which is ether. It's the throat chakra. That's Heka. Remember, we talked about resonance being a fourth governing law of the universe. Heka is space and ether. That's the middle finger. Then you have the ring finger, which is earth. And then you have the pinky, which is water. Okay. And so when you're coming up with sciences, and this is how you corresponded with the energy point of the chakras. You can add new ones. You can create. I said you can earlier. You can create new chakras. You can correspond it with the earth elements to when you're coming up with new mudras. And I'll show you. This is a new mudra that I created, but I have a couple more. It's a couple of them, but I'll show you on camera how to do these mudras and how they look like when I get the chance. Yeah, but the hands are very important. You can do you can do a lot of stuff with pointing and with hand movements. That's why when they show, even believe it or not, the choir directing, when you're directing a choir and they show doing all these hand movements through voice and resonance and music. That's very spiritual. It's not just it's very, very spiritual. Even when you think of like the orchestra, when you have the director doing the things with their hands, it has a resonance. It carries a very powerful um, electromagnetic frequency. Hand correspondence. I'm making sure I will get my notes better. Hand correspondence. Okay. And earth elements. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do the ones with the top of the head. We're gonna focus on the mudras that are on. I'm sorry, not the mudras. We're gonna focus on the chakras that are on the top of the head, and then we'll do eyes as well. We'll do head and eyes because there's more than one third eye. There's more than there's a third eye. So we'll cover that. I'll give you my links to reach me if you would like a spiritual reading, and links to my books as well. And so I would hope to hear from you in some capacity and whatnot. You can reach me. And I would like to build a community of like minded people that are focused on ascension and that are focused on their own divinity, that are focused on their God consciousness, and focused on ascending, and focused on enlightenment and intellectualism and their own empowerment. That is the type of community that I would like to build. And so here's that information. If you guys want to find me, we'll be back. So I hope you guys come back for the video on the chakras of the top of the head, and as well as the third eye, learning about the other components of the spiritual eyes besides the third eye, rather. Okay. Just put my last link. I have books. Please support my work in the form of books. You can purchase my books on Kindle or the print itself. And so I appreciate that as well. You could go to NAC University and sign up for the newsletter. We'll be doing some interesting things on there with the NAC philosophy. And so I'm going to talk to you guys later. We'll be back. God bless. Hello, this is Kali J.N.S. and happy Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And so to start the weekend, I just wanted to do some spiritual content and start a series on the chakras. Now, this is going to be like a little bit more advanced in a sense as where we're covering some of the minor chakras. Just wanted to check my sound. Sorry about that. But and so with that being said, you would have to have like a working knowledge of the chakra system itself, because we won't be covering the energy centers from the middle of the body, from the the typical 7 major chakras that we all know. We're going to talk about the ones in the feet as well as the ones in the hands, the implications for the energy centers in the feet and whatnot, and some things to purify and detox the feet area as well. And so the feet have chakras that are generally considered minor, which I would say is a misconception, or something that we shouldn't call it the minor chakras. Okay, so they often go neglected and ignored, and so I wanted to cover the minor chakras in the feet. I don't even like saying minor chakras in the feet, but the energy points in the feet. Okay, and so each toe, including the middle of the foot and in the heel area, is governed by one of the major 7 chakras that we are usually familiar with. Okay, and so you see the big toe. The big toe is governed and corresponds to the manipura. Now, what is the manipura? Remember that the manipura, just want to get this, want to share this with you. I want to share it so you can at least see it for yourself. Here we go. Let's go here. So manipura refers to your solar chakra, your solar plexus chakra, okay? And remember that is around the stomach area, the gut. And so that big toe that you see, that big toe corresponds to the manipura. Big toe. And so what does the manipura usually govern? That is your willpower, your strength, your confidence and self-esteem, and your personality, as well as your self-determination. And so this is an action oriented. So that's the big toe. The next toe that we have is the index. The index toe, we all know what index toe is. That corresponds with your anahata. That is the heart chakra. Okay, so let's go back here. Heart chakra corresponds with acceptance, love, and compassion and sincerity. Now, the next toe that we have, the middle toe, that's Vishuddhi. And that corresponds with your throat chakra. Now, remember, your throat chakra, that relates to your communication abilities, your expression, your creativity, your inspiration, and your ability, your heka. That's your voice. Okay. So now we have the fourth toe. That's your ajna. That's your eye chakra. And let's go back here. Your third eye chakra corresponds to your intuition, your lucidity, meditation, and trust. Now let's go back up here because now we have the baby toe. Baby toe, or little, or people call it little toe, is Swatisthana. Okay. Now let's go back here. That's your sacral chakra. Remember, that's the private areas around the private, and that refers to your sexuality, your pleasure, your sociability, and sensuality as well. So now let's look at the middle of the foot as well as the heel. I guess we'll start with the heel because that's pretty important. So the heel refers to your root chakra. That's the Muladhara down here. And that refers to your energy, your stability, your comfort and safety. The I am feeling. So that is your heel chakra, the root chakra of the heel. And then in the middle, you have the crown chakra, the middle of the foot right here. Now let's go down here. That's Sahasrara. And that's the crown chakra that refers to your knowledge, your consciousness, fulfillment, and spirituality. Now, remember, the crown chakra refers to the top of your head as far as the major energy point, and as far as because I wanted to cover that. And then the root chakra, the Muladhara, that covers the base of the spine area. Okay, and so pretty much the seven chakras, they have the seven chakras that are in the center of their body that align with your the private area, the sacral, the root, the base of the spine, solar plexus, stomach, anahata, the heart, throat chakra, eye chakra, crown chakra. Those energy points, they have nerve endings that channel down into the feet. These areas of the feet. Okay, and it allows you to discharge the excess energy that has been accumulated in the major chakra. In the major chakra energy points, you can discharge the energy from the feet, or you sometimes you can bring in the energy from the feet. Whether, like a lot of people, they do the grounding meditation outside, walk outside, is like to balance your uh, electromagnetic field of the feet with the earth. So the earth radiates a frequency about 7.83 hertz. That's the Schumann resonance. It's been changing because the earth has been actually ascending quite considerably. So Schumann resonance, sometimes you can see a lot of activity. You can actually look this up. Like, you can see a lot of activity in the electromagnetic field of the earth, the frequency. And so what some people do is they'll go outside, they'll take their shoes off, they'll walk on the grass, they'll walk where there's nature, or sometimes they go to the ocean or to a river and put their foot in the water, and that allows you to recalibrate the chakra, the chakra centers, and obviously that earth energy will come through the feet and up through and purify and recalibrate the major chakras of the entire body. Or you can discharge energy from the body and discharge it from the feet. Okay, because the surplus energy is released and transmitted into the earth from the feet. facilitating grounding in our consciousness. And the reason why the chakras of the feet is important because uh like the feet, they ground you. But I don't like the word ground, but they what's the send is not even a right word too, because I don't like the word grounding anymore, and I don't like because grounding kind of refers to some sort of imprisonment to me in my mind. So I don't like to use the word grounding, but analyze, I want to say, is something where it logistics, something with analyze your feet. Yeah, analyze, emphasize. Maybe emphasize is the better word, because it's a word between emphasize and analyze that I wish we can just create right now. Um, because when we think of like analytics and analytical, I'm referring to a space where you're less cosmic and galactic and more logic based, more mathematic, and what the spiritualists would call that grounded. But to me, again, a lot of the way the words that we use to describe some terms come off as social engineering or like kind of like programming to me, and I don't like to be. One of my sisters, she made an excellent point of, when we talk about like this being grounded to the earth, do you necessarily want to be grounded in the 3D, 4D, 5D realm? Like, do you want to lose connection to the galactic elements of the cosmic elements of being? And so sometimes like we lose sight of that when we talk about like this grounding to the earth of 7.83 hertz. And sometimes you do need to be grounded, or I would say emphasized. Maybe sometimes maybe you do need to balance out your energy to be more analytical, to be more uh, pragmatic rather. But um, nonetheless, those chakras in the feet exist to recalibrate the energy using the electromagnetic field from the earth, or to discharge energy from the top of the head, from the energy that comes through the crown, throughout to discharge it out of the feet. A lot of times it's for that as well. And so the foot chakras also serve to channel energy from the earth star chakra, and it transmit it into the major chakras via the energy channels in the legs. We have energy channels in the legs as well. And so we are able to communicate with the earth, direct communication with the earth through the feet. You detox through the feet. A lot of times the conditions of the feet tell you a lot about the state of consciousness, or where the person is at. This is no judgment, but that's why a lot of people love to get pedicures. They love to do things with their feet, make sure the feet is, especially women, they love to make sure the feet is so, you know, uh, their feet is taken care of. And I never understood that growing up. I always thought the idea of pedicures were nice, but it's like Black American women, it's like an obsession with the feet, with pedicure, the feet, making it, grooming of the feet is very important in Black American culture, believe it or not. With amongst the women, the men, some men do pedicure. Some men do. The men that are in the know, they will take care of their feet. They'll get a. Remember that pet egg that came out, and maybe this is an American thing, but I think it's subconscious. But um, there was this pet egg that you can order online back in the day. Just that I've seen on TV, the pet egg. Maybe I can Google, because I want to show you what I'm talking about, because I actually bought this. um, but it's like this pet egg thing that they used to really market online, and this was to scrub the feet, to have it baby soft and smooth, and to trap your shavings inside, so there's no mess to clean up, so you can discard of these foot ash or whatever. But a lot of people, like a lot of Black Americans, and we were buying these things. What is the pumice? There's another one here. They have this will remove the calluses, dead skin. This is something that is very important to a lot of women, and I think it's more spiritual than just like the actual. Well, for me, when I was buying these things, and I didn't know what I was doing with them. Like I actually made a mistake and cut my foot like really bad with this thing, scrubbing too hard, like really scrubbing my feet with this. And I'm one that don't like people to touch my feet. Well, actually I do, but like I wouldn't go and pay for someone else, especially like, like they go to these in the hood, they go to these nails, the nail salons in the hood, Asian nail salon, or whatever, and had just random people touching my feet and scrubbing my feet. That was never my thing. I personally don't believe in it. If I was going to do pedicure, it had to be somebody that I know. I'll give myself the pedicure. You could buy pedicure machines. They have this stuff you can buy your own little kit and do it yourself, or I would have a friend do it. I'll even pay a friend to do it, but I wouldn't just have random people that go and pay to go get this kind of work done, because it's spiritual for me. And so I'm bringing this up to even proposed an idea that the way, this idea of the pedicure and the way we groom our feet, we do it in a way that aligns with the chakras in the foot, that aligns with, are we discharging energy? Are we transmitting energy in? That's the thing that we need to think about when when we prepare the water for the pedicure. Are we focused on transmitting energy in? So that means you may want to charge your water and charge the water that you put the foot in. What is the intention? You may want to add some like herbs, cinnamon, basil, certain things of that nature when you transmuting energy in through the feet. And obviously, even the way you groom the foot, each toe, like on the back of the with the back of the feet, a lot of times people take like these pumice stones and these pedicure kit. Let's Google pedicure kit. Let's see, pedicure foot spa. They have callus remover gel, all types of shit. Arnica. I have bought like some arnica and stuff for my feet and whatnot. But you want to add things to this water if you can. Like maybe they have like some simple one, but they even have some very sophisticated pedicure machines as well for the feet. And if you have callus remover, if you have calluses on the feet, corns on the feet, those could be energy blockages. You don't want to always, because sometimes it could be just the type of shoes that you're wearing, the work that you're doing, but that could be energy blockages. You look at the feet, and again, there's no judgment, but if you have like, say, a callus in a big toe, something near the, remember we went over, let me share it again. We just went over the energy points. Maybe the heel, like my heel, used to have issues with my heel. Like that's my root chakra. I've always had issues with the root chakra. I've always been aware of that. And so right now I've been able to transmute, a lot of that energy and people can even get rid of, you can read, a lot of people don't know this. I'll tell you this secret, but you can invent a chakra, believe it or not. You can invent, you can do a lot of pre-programming of the energy points of the body itself. You can invent a chakra. But these are the 7 major ones that were invented and given down through us, through the, some of the interdimensional beings who taught us a lot of the esoteric knowledge that they weren't supposed to thousands of years ago. And, but since this information is already out, I am telling the human race, yes, you can invent a chakra, or you can transmute a chakra to even a different element. But I won't get into the science of that in this video. But yeah, so the heel chakra, like say you have like ashes, crusty ash on a foot, that may be an area, that may be something you want to pay attention to. Are you balancing in the root chakra? Do you feel, and that could just mean like, do you feel stable? Do you feel you have some issues with stability and foundation? Those are things to pay attention to. Maybe the crown chakra, you have some issues. Maybe you realize you have a ash, what is it, not ash, but how like the skin peeling on in the middle of the foot or something. That's the crown chakra. Could it be something going on there? Could it be? Do you need to transmit energy into the feet, or do you need to discharge energy out of the feet? And so those are things to think about when we're doing our pedicures, ladies, and even fellas. We're doing these pedicures, like, okay, do we want to, what kind of, what's going on with the status of the feet? And you look at the heart chakra. Let's look at the middle foot. Maybe you have something peeling, they have athlete's foot, or, you notice things. Back in the day, during the college, stay in a college dorm my freshman year, those floors would be so nasty. The showers, everybody using the same shower, right? And so I used to wear flip flops. But sometimes them flip flops didn't work. Sometimes you still got athlete's foot because of the germs of the bacterias in the dorm. You had to share. I remember my freshman year, we had to share them showers. It wasn't just your own shower, and you had to go. You had to get a higher grade in order to get your own bathroom or share your bathroom with one other person. But in undergrad, you were sharing with your freshman year, you're sharing the bath shower with like probably a good 30 women, probably even more. And so they don't clean them showers like that, and you get in there right after the next person come, what the fuck they got on their foot. I used to get athlete's foot my freshman year, and I didn't know what was going on. I had an athlete's foot, and I had to and I realized it was the dorm, so I started wearing flip-flops in the shower, wearing flip-flops everywhere I walk, because I had like these slippers, and I was like, maybe the bacteria is getting through the slippers. It just freaked me out. Like it freaked me out. But and I had to get tea tree oil and pay attention to the feet. Get some tea tree oil, get oregano oil. Things to help the feet. And it wasn't just me that was getting, like, freshman year. I mean, people's feet was breaking out with rashes, all types of shit, because the bathroom. That's what you expect when you're sharing them damn dorms like that. And this is so for the young people too. If you realize you get something like that, and you're just now coming into this knowledge, this will be excellent for you as well. Now, say you'll have something with the heart chakra. Say it's the middle, the index foot, the index toe, that's giving you some issues. Maybe you want to pay attention to your emotions and your connections, and how are you feeling right now. It's just something to think about. It's definitely something to think about. Okay. And so when we're doing these pedicures, and when we are taking care of the feet, it's energetic. It's spiritual. It's not just, okay, we want the feet to look good and dainty. Sure. I mean, everybody wants what they call it, baby soft feet. They gotta have baby soft lotion your feet. You don't want ashy feet. That's why in Black American culture, ashy feet will get your ass clown. Even there's a movie called The Baby Kids, and the girl was ribbing on her. She said, "Here goes some lotion for your ashy ankles." Everything was about the foot. Like, you remember the Proud Family, when the grandma would show them toes or show them dogs and them feet, and they would be like, "Oh," and they would clown her because it's not groomed. And so it is a big thing in Black American culture. Actually, my first present from one of my friends was literally a self-made pedicure machine with the foot soak and all types of, I didn't know what the hell this was, but this was her thing. Like, she used to go and get pedicures every week. And when we were like real young, like we was like, I was like in grammar school, and she get, my Christmas present was this big ass pedicure spa thing. I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And so it's pretty important. I wanted to look for some of them kits though. There's like a kit. I want to look. Let's see if they have. Yeah, like this type of thing. Like she had got me. I know they don't sell that no more, but it was like one of them kits like this. One of them kits like that for but it was for the feet though. It was everything was for feet. And so another thing I want to talk about is like they used to sell this thing for detox of the feet. They used to in Japan, it was like, or not Japan, but in Asia, it was really important. Let me see if I can Google it. Detox foot pads. The detox foot pads. This is an ancient practice. Now the way that they promoted this, obviously they want to monetize everything, but there's other ways to detox. You can make your own foot pads to detox. Once again, in Black American culture, we believe in putting onions on the bottom of the feet when you get sick. No lie. You get socks. You get some tape. If you get sick, you cut up your onions with the membrane part, like showing, and it does get smelly. It does get, obviously there's onions, and if you're sick, you tape the onions all on the bottom of the feet, And you put some socks on, and you turn the heat up a little bit, and you sweat that shit out. And that onions from the bottom of the feet, it goes into the body. It detoxes the sickness out of the body, the virus out of the body. This is a belief. This is, you could call it hoodoo culture, whatever you want to say, but this is something that I know works. I've done it. One time I got sick, my friend said, well, she's not my friend anymore, but she was an ex-friend. She's like, you got to put onions on your feet. You got to put onions on your feet. And I'm just looking like, what the hell? But I did it. I sure did. And it was smelly. I was like, okay. And then you have to be careful because you don't want your bed to obviously get all like that. So if you have one of them mattress pads, the plastic mattress pads, or if you don't have that, you could put a garbage bag underneath, like put a garbage bag underneath the sheet before your bed, under your bed sheet, so while you're laying on top of it, so the smell don't get all in your bed, or your mattress, depending on how long you're sick and how long you need to put the onions on your feet. You can also do, as you can see, turmeric and ginger. That's going to detox the feet. That's the energy points of the feet. They got some with the activated charcoal. Look at this one, lavender and rose. I mean, it's all types. You can make your own as well if you don't want to pay, or if you want something that's more natural, or if you just want to do a project where you're putting so much intention into the way you prepare the grooming of your feet or the detoxing of your feet. If you want to make your own pad, like you want rose, and you want to sit and you want to use these essential oils to make your own pad. You could certainly do that, or you could just buy it. But I suggested it would be better to do it yourself. You got bamboo vinegar, wormwood. Wormwood is very good. Wormwood is for parasites and intestine, but it certainly detoxes the feet. And so that's one way to discharge energy out of the foot, through the pads, the discharge and recalibrate the chakras. Again, for those that have knowledge of like what even the herbs do on a metaphysical level, and I have an herb book that I had published about a year ago with 178 herbs in its corresponding gender, planet, spiritual uses, and health uses. And so when you're detoxing the feet and grooming of the feet, you want to correspond the herb with the particular energy point that you want to work with, the chakra in the feet. If it's something that's more of cosmetic, they have calluses, corn, pay attention to the toe that the corn is on, and remember the corresponding chakra with the toe. If it's the root, a lot of people have crust on their back of their heel. A lot of people don't feel stable. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people, a lot of humans are going to have issues with the heel of their feet. So you want to pay attention to the heel of the feet, grooming of the heel of the feet. That's when you want to transmute energy in. So when you're doing like your pedicure, you're doing like a bath, maybe you do want to put a herb that corresponds to the root chakra in your bath water or in your pedicure water. That could be, let's see, bay leaves. That could be anything. I mean, come on, there's thousands of tonka bean. Put some tonka bean in it, saffron, whatever. For those that's more advanced that knows some of the knowledge of the metaphysical purposes of the herbs, you correspond it with the energy point of the feet when you need to transmit energy in, or when you need to discharge energy out. Okay. And so that's a science that you can study. We could talk more about that. That's not what this video is about. But I just give you some gems, I'll give you some gems of the chakras of the feet. Okay. And feet is very important, to a lot of people, I had a kid in my family when he was young. He's much, much older now, but when he was a little baby, like I want to say like 1-2 years old, he had an obsession with feet. Like he knew that there was energy coming from the feet, the flow of communication. Like your feet communicate with the energy grids in the earth, and it was like, this obsession with the foot. This kid, it used to like put him in a whole trance. Like it used to kind of freak us out because like if we had our feet out, the kid would just come and sit under your feet. Like he would just come and sit and just, or like take your foot and put it on his face. Like he would take people's feet, mainly women, only women, by the way. He would take women's foot obviously only women in his family. He would take our feet and just put it on his face, stare at our feet, be looking at our feet. Like we were just looking like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna hold you. We thought it was so freaking weird. But that's because we were, I think I was like 19, 18 at the time. So we didn't know, I was just looking like, why is he so obsessed with our feet? Actually, we were younger than that because I was like 17, 18, and so, we really didn't understand it, and so we think about the foot chakra. You talk about the heel chakra related to the muladhara. That allows you to feel, connected to the earth every time you take a step. And it also, the chakras in the feet, they correspond to the feminine and masculine, Ida and Pingala nadis, those points. That is going to also channel up through your whole body. And so on some level, I think the kid, and men, the Ida and Pingala are energized by the testes. So a woman is connected to the ovaries, the Ida and Pingala nadis. And so they run in their feet. And I suspect that the little kid, with him just being so obsessed with our feet, he could feel that energy. He could feel some type of energy coming from the foot. Like clearly, like, because it wasn't even like we were getting, well, his mom would get pedicures, but I was not getting any pedicures. Like I was not caring nothing about my feet. So I just didn't understand, like, why is this kid doing it? So I'm not going to hold you. I did an experiment because I was like, well, we got to break him out of this foot addiction. It was like a foot addiction. And he even remembered, it's like, I remember when he was older, he was like, yeah, I used to really, really love feet. Like I used to put him in, like, his mind was gone. Like imagine somebody that just, that like to get high or something, and you see a person that's high and they be gone out of it. That's how it was with this little kid in feet, women's feet. And we didn't, we don't know how to handle anything like that. That's like, to us, we felt like, how like when people suck their thumbs, you have the kids that suck their thumbs and you put like tape on their on the thumb, or you put hot sauce on the thumb or peppers or something to get them to stop sucking their thumb or their finger. And so we were like, well, how do we break him out of this foot fetish? And at least like, like not be weird with it. Like, I mean, this kid, like we're watching a movie, everybody's sitting on the couch. This kid would get on the floor, take our feet and put it on his face and just be staring at, or like take the feet and put it like dead on the face and be staring at the foot. Staring at the foot. And we were looking like, what the fuck are you doing? Or if the feet was just like just, you're sitting on the couch and your feet is just out, he would just lay up, just put his face real close to your foot and just be laying up under the foot, or staring at the toes, playing with the toes and stuff. So I say, yo, we got to break him out of this. So I ain't gonna hold you. I had made sure one day that my feet was it was like really, 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 really smelly. And I said, I remember I put my foot out and said, here you go. And he ran. I mean, he was out like a little kid ran up and he couldn't. And I put it right there in his face. And he took he's like, this smells. And he never, ever, 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 ever had that foot fetish again. And sometimes I'm like, was I wrong for that? Like, because I remember consciously like calculating, like, how do I get him to stop being so obsessed with feet? And, me not knowing any better, I think I was like 19 at the time. I'm like, well, I guess, I mean, would he like I don't think he'd like a smelly foot. So I had these flats on and I just left them on, these flats. If you put water in your flats and then you put your feet in the water in the flats, it's going to smell. Everybody knows that. And so I put my foot in the water in the flats and put my feet in the flats, let them get smelly, and then said, here you go. I was like, here you go. And he said, oh no. And he never, I mean, he still would like feet, but he wasn't afraid of feet. Like like he would give a foot massage or something like that, but he was never the same like that. Not like high, like getting in a trance and putting your foot on the face. Like he stopped doing that. And so I was like, well, at least, we did, because it was getting a little uncomfortable for a little kid to be doing that. And, but I think that it was because of the energy of the feet and maybe that made him feel grounded. There was also a practice um where you would where and that's how I know you can transmit energy out of the body through the feet. There's this practice where they would when white people would get sick, they would have black kids lay down on the ground and they would put their feet on the black kid's stomach so that the sickness can go out of the white people's feet into the black person's stomach, and they would transmit the energy because the black kids couldn't get sick. Black kids during this day in the South, they had really, really, really powerful immune systems, very, very strong immune systems. They rarely got sick. And so they was like they were looked at as like lucky charms. Like, okay, you're a lucky charm and you don't get sick and you have melanin, and so you can transmit the energy out of my feet, the sickness out of my body through my feet into your solar plexus, and you're not nothing's going to happen to you. You'll transmit it out your body. That was a sick belief like that, and this is real. Like this they showed this in movies too. I want to say it was Queens, the movie Queen that Alex Haley had did. I want to don't quote me on that, but I know for a fact I even seen this practice in movies, but I had read about it. But they had actually had this. They were showing this in movies, like of white people putting their bare ass feet on black people's stomach, or the black kid's stomach, or their back. Sometimes, usually it was the stomach, but sometimes it will be the back as well, because you can. That's how you transmit energy out of the feet. And so, that's what I wanted to cover today. Remember, we talked about the pedicure. You can do your own pedicure. You can get your own foot pads. Put your when you're charging your water, you can put your own intention into the water. You can even put maybe some water friendly crystals in the water for your feet, just to balance and recalibrate your chakras. You can use some tools. What is it? Pumice stones to pumice stone for the feet. They got all types of stuff that you can use. Pedicure, foot spa. Don't let a lot of people touch your feet that you don't know. Make sure you trust the person that's touching your feet, because they can put energy from their hands. That's another thing we're gonna do another video about chakras in the hands. The same this way you got chakras in the feet, you got chakras in the hands. You have people touching on your feet. You got to make sure they in the right state of mind. If they doing it just for for money or whatever, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But more importantly, there's a spiritual component to the grooming of the feet that extends beyond the cosmetic aspects of just a pedicure. Making sure the feet's not ashy and crusty and whatnot. And so I'll be back to do the video on the uh, the chakras of the hands, and so we'll cover that in just a bit. So I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, actually, I'm going to share my links if you guys want a spiritual reading. It's hard for me to sell stuff because I'm just a natural teacher. I'm not a salesperson. And so I'll give you my links if you guys want a spiritual reading, and also the links to my books, the links to Nocta University. If you guys want to check out more information, that would be great. I love giving spiritual readings. You can ask me anything. I had a beautiful client yesterday who was really wanting to get so deep into like inner work and whatnot, and so that was cool. And yeah, so that is information on that. Make sure I put it in there, and I'll be back with a video on chakras on the hands. You can book a reading at my website, and you can check out my books. I have 18 books, spiritual books. I do cover chakras in my Tantra book. The book about Tantra covers of chakras. So that would be cool if you guys are wanting to know about like love making with your spouse and in a transcendental sense. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be back. Hello. This is Kylie J.N.S, and we are continuing with the chakra series. And in this particular video, we're going to talk about the chakras of the head. And when we talk about activating light in particular, we talk about activating the light, which is like this Kundalini experience, or what people say, the awakening. These are the energy points that really facilitate that around this head. And these are considered minor chakras. Of course, you have the uh, big chakra, the crown chakra, in the middle of the head, but there are energy points that surround the head, and that is labeled by the numbers that you see. And so we'll cover what each one does. And now the middle of the head, number one, that is considered, like the bindu, which is your seventh eye. And it's an important chakra, and it works to power the circuit of the kundalini within the body of light. Okay. And so this energy, it kind of feels like a liquid that's circulating around the head, and it kind of forms a halo. And that's why, like, with a lot of the photos of like angels, or like photos of ascended masters, they always show a halo around their head. They always show this halo of light around their head. That's coming from these energy centers. Believe it or not, there are people that can see that. There are people that can see halos around certain people's heads, or there's people that can see when somebody's chakras is but burst wide open, their third eye is burst wide open. Something you could feel when someone's crown chakra is exploded, or when it's leaking fluid, spiritual fluid. But and that could be for good or bad. Sometimes you could really, sometimes a bursted crown chakra that is not prepared, or not. That's what I say, the dangers of opening the third eye, right? They say, oh, there's some dangers to opening the pineal gland or whatever. But sometimes if it just explodes open, sometimes it can look like psychosis. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything mental going on, but it can very much, if you are in different dimensions and you are talking to people in one state of density, because dimensions in density goes hand in hand. But say your density is so light where you're in a spiritual realm, and you try to talk with people that are in a denser level of 3D realm, and you're trying to relay messages, or, oh, I seen different dimensions, I seen angels, you're going to sound psychotic, but that's not the case. This stuff is very, very real. And it's been hidden from humanity for aeons, for a long time, in terms of humans not understanding the mind mechanisms and the energy mechanisms that surround their very body. And so that's unfortunate, but there's information out there. There's so many people out there teaching. There's so many data. There's so many books. There's so many YouTube videos. That you can go and get and catch yourself up. Humanity can catch itself up with this information if they want to. But these energy points, they create a halo effect around the head. This is how you can build a psychic helmet too. This needs to be protected. And so when you're looking at these energy points, when we talk about like building a psychic helmet that protects from other radio signals of other people's thoughts and their psychotronics, that's how you can do this. That's how you can do it. You just act like you can either literally cover the head. Like some people, they go and actually cover their head with like a white cloth. That's why you see a lot of Black American women, they wear cloth on their head. A lot of that came from the Tignan laws from the 1800s of white people. They don't want Black women's hair out because they could see those crown chakras and that crown energy, beaming out of the top of their head, that connects better with the electromagnetic field in the sun. That was also a reason there was a law in this country. It's called Tignan laws, where Black women couldn't wear their real hair out. They always had to wear something on their head. But unbeknownst to white people, there's actually it's always been a spiritual there's always been a spiritual practice of melanated people anyways, for them to for women to cover the part of their head so that people don't mess with their aura, or people don't to disrupt the radio signals of other people's thoughts, to disrupt the electromagnetic frequencies of other people's bad mind or envy or evil eye, shit like that. or even if they have to, if they're priestesses, or see a lot of priestesses wear things on their head, because they are usually they have to channel a lot. They're reading cards. They're doing a host of different types of things, and so you'll see a lot of priestesses keep that top of their head covered for those reasons. You can do this psychically. You don't have to do it physically. You can do this psychically. Uh, what we call it astrally. You could build a you could cover the head um, as well. And the baby, they had that soft spot in the middle of their head, and there's a lot of people that put beanies on their baby's head. They don't want people touching their baby's head, rubbing their baby's head, because it's a lot of energy around that area. I wish I could tell a story about that, but about about that. But I want to stay on topic for time allotment. But anyways, um, chakra one, that is the seventh eye, and so it aligns with the bindu, which is chakra six. The bindu is chakra six. That's number six that you see, and chakra one is the seventh eye. And so that works to power the circuit of the kundalini within the body of light. And so it carries energy that connects yourself or your soul to the non-duality, to the transcendence level, that allows for the individual to experience, like, oh, this spiritual realm, and like, oh, connection with God. And that's why some of the people, they feel like, people that are not familiar with this sort of phenomenon, they'll say, like, oh, someone that looks that's having that type of experience, oh, they went psychotic, or what they're going through, what are they talking about, um because they are connected to a different realm. Sometimes they don't always look like that. Sometimes the person that experiences an awakening are just very quiet. Sometimes they say the person that is enlightened, you really can't tell the difference between them and the apathetic person, because that contentment, in terms of what it looks like, um, can mimic the apathetic person that, say, is lethargic. Sometimes the enlightened person, sometimes you really can't tell the difference. What they used to do to make sure that you can tell the difference is they'll go and sit in a cave all day. They really wanted to make it known that they were like an ascetic being filled with light. They'll go meditate in the cave for like 10 years and shit like that, to make it be known. But now in 2024, you don't necessarily have to do that. You have enlightened people that sit on a couch and be looking at a movie, and you thinking they just a couch potato looking at a movie, and they motherfucking ass being in a whole nother dimension. You have the homeless people, right? A lot of them homeless people are very gifted spiritually. They have been driven to the streets by the government via covert target harassment campaigns that they run by the intelligence agencies. And so you'll see, like, a lot of very brilliant people, believe it or not, they just be out on the streets homeless. Some of them are doing drugs, of course, but believe it or not, that's very covert. It's very, very, very covert military practice, in terms of how that happens and who they target, and it is something sinister behind it. That's why if you ever listen to some of the people that are homeless, you hear their stories, and sometimes it is just the drugs, and they get on downtimes and whatnot. But if you hear their stories, they're usually very spiritual people. And some of them are enlightened, and some of them are very observant, and they know too much. They know what's going on down here. They know so much. Like they showed, and I'll give you an example. Remember, it's just a movie, but you remember the movie they cloned Tyrone, and they showed the homeless guy knew what the fuck was up, knew who was doing what, who was, how they showed what was going on underground with the black people in the black community. When they was spraying the stuff with the chicken and cloning people, them homeless people be knowing that shit. They be seeing it. They can see it. They can see through the matrix. They can see through things. They can see in different dimensions. And so, part of cutting off their ability to influence and to teach, or even their sense of groundedness, they will be driven into those type of situations systematically, or sometimes it be on their own, because they realize, why are they paying taxes? Why are you paying rent? Why are you paying for a house? Why are you taking out a 30-year mortgage? It takes a high level of enlightenment to see, to crack through this bitch. Now, people could clown on people, play them people now, but the average human is going to start questioning the same thing. They're going to start questioning, why are we paying rent? Like, why the fuck are we paying taxes? Like, why are we paying for water? Why are we paying for fruits and veggies? Why are we paying for oranges? I should be able to grow a motherfucking orange. I should be able to go outside and pick out an orange right from the damn tree. I should be able to go to a river and get fresh spring water. Like, I don't understand. Eventually, you guys are going to realize that a lot of homeless people already had that epiphany years ago, decades ago. A lot of them are very, very smart. That's why most of them are former military. If you know, haven't noticed, people. Oh, I don't even want to get that. I don't want to go there. Mm-mm. It gets deep. It gets deep. But a lot of people, that you'll think don't have awareness, or and this beast of a system is, they turned planet Earth into a prison planet. And so a lot of people do hide who they are, and hide what they know, and hide what they do and what they can do, because they have considerable more power than even the people that run the system. But then say they may be under a pact, they may be under an oath, and they can't show that. Then you'll have um, people who have been driven into horrific situations uh, by systematic means, covert means, because of their power and influence that they could potentially have, or the knowledge that they know. Um, you'll have that as well going on down here. And so I say that to say, when we talk about like the Kundalini within the body of light, and the body of light being connected in the transcendent sense, and how that will look like, while there is no one way of how it would look, we do have some, you have the examples of the halo around the head of the ascended masters. Some that really take on asceticism. They need to go meditate by a tree. With me personally, that's like, that's something that I like to do, um, given the right environment and situation. You have some that want to do the cave. They like to meditate in a dark ass cave. You got some that just that sit their ass on a motherfucking couch and zooted and booted, be out. And you just think that they do, and maybe that's in this day and time, it's not the same where you can go be like Siddhartha Gautama and just go to the average nature out there, reserve or whatever, and just sit your ass down there for free, and sit in the park, and chill out and zone out. They don't have that. The police come and round you up, or tell you the park is closed these days in 2024. Tell you that you can't do this. This is private property. This is state property, government property. The state parks and whatnot close at a certain time. Now that wasn't always the case. Just to be able to go and sit at one of these. They have botanicas and nature parks and nature reserves. You got to pay to go sit in a nature reserve. It's not the same as it was 2,000 years ago, or and so people had to adjust to that awakening and what that looks like. And even I'm telling you, they target spiritualists. They target spiritual people. They target people that are connected to God. They target people that are enlightened. They do, because you can see through the matrix. You can crack the matrix sometimes. You can go in and out. You can interdimensional travel. You have gifts. You can heal people. You can do things. You can prophesize. And so they're going to go after. They go after enlightened souls. It wasn't always the case. The thing is, what I would encourage anybody that is enlightened, um, you want to develop your power base, your power within, and activate it into fully, and so where you feel like you don't have to always hide. You can't just have one person stick their neck out, and then they come after them, and then you just sitting there like. To me, it seems like if we have an advantage as humans, as interdimensional beings, however you want to look at it, we have an advantage. Um, we should take advantage of that, and we shouldn't have to feel like we have to hide, or downplay, or play dumb. And it's disturbing what's going on this planet. Nonetheless, that's where we're at with it. That's where we're at. But let's continue. And so when we talk about the Bindu, remember that's chakra 6. Bindu, it feels like the abyss. Okay. That's where you have the depth of the ego. You start to feel interconnected with everything around you. And it purifies all impurities. And when, and also this, I would say for me, chakra 1 and 6 is where you start to feel like the liquid forming on the head. Sometimes the liquid in 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 also feel, it circulates this golden ray of liquid of light. It feels like a liquid in your head that's circling around when you awaken. Okay. But duality goes away once chakra 6 is open, when chakra 6 is purified and connected to the spiritual realm. Okay, so we have chakra. Now let's go to chakra 2. Chakra 2 is linked to the Pingala. That's the masculine channel. And so when chakra 2 is open, that's when you begin to feel connection with the right side of the body. That's where Pingala Nadi flows. Chakra 3 is linked to Ida, the feminine channel of the body. Okay. And when chakra 3 is open, that's when you feel the connection to the left side of the body, and you feel connected to the heart and openness and expansion. Then you have chakra 4 and 5. You see chakras 4 and 5. That is when that feels open, you have a stronger connection to chakra 6, which is the bindu. That allows for your individual consciousness to leave the physical body when in meditation. That leads you to transcendental meditation. And so having those two chakras open fully allows you to have the fully awakened experience. And so those are the 6 minor chakras in the head. Okay. And so the bindu starts first. The chakra 1 and chakra 6 starts first, though. Chakra 1 is considered the 7th eye. And they work as a trinity. They create like a halo. They create a crown. And that is why you see certain people wear the kippah on their heads. To protect those areas of the minor chakras in the head. That is why you see people, they have the Muslim women, wear hijab. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that. But that's why people cover the head. The original reasons. Throughout time, they perverted it. That's why women are very susceptible to having their ori tampered with, people trying to send psychotronics through the crown. Women are very susceptible to this because they are portals, as well as children. And so that is why the original reason why you used to see women cover up the head. Now they make it into some patriarchal, because you don't want a man looking at the woman. This ridiculous nonsense. But it was always a spiritual practice for Black women's. That's why we talk about protective style, wear the braids, wigs. Believe it or not, that a lot of the Black women's, wig wearing is spiritual practice. That's why Wendy Williams loved her wigs. Wendy Williams was a very before they came after, before the contract, whatever she had, the deal with, she had whatever went wrong in the spiritual realm. But she was a powerful priestess, powerful witch. When she loved them wigs, she get the top notch $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 wigs for a certain type of hair, from a certain type of tribe, certain type of women. A lot of these women, they're not telling you this, but they wear them wigs, and you see women, they will forego their rent. They'll forego their rent so that they could spend $2,000 on a certain type of wig from Mongolia, let me be real. Let's walk with me. Me personally, I wear wig, but I haven't worn a wig in a minute, and I don't wear human hair wig for my own spiritual reasons. But I will tell you the reason why some women do this. This is not me telling no secret or nothing. This is just me channeling. Now where they get these wigs from. The Hindu temples, right? Some of these temples will cut off some of these let me rephrase this. And some of the Hindu practices, and some of the practices in India and Malaysia, Mongolia, whatever, they have this practice where the women will cut off their hair for a god, right? And dedicated to the temple. The temples will then go and sell that hair, They dedicate it to the guy to do whatever ritual they're gonna do with it. Then they go and sell that hair, and they make wigs with it. They're the people they sell it to make wigs with it. It is an underground market. We all know it. Like this is, I had to have whole documentaries on it, so it's not like I'm saying nothing new. It's whole documentaries on this shit where they they go to these Hindu temples and the women give their long Indian women give their long ass hair, or the Malaysian women. They have different types of gods that they dedicate their hair to, whether that be a Lakshmi, Kali, Durga, J.N.S, Krishna, Hanuman, whatever, Shiva, Vishnu. They dedicate their hair to these gods, and the temples themselves, whether people say that's a corrupt practice, that's not, they shouldn't be selling that hair, whatever, they sell that hair. Let's be real, they sell that hair, and they make wigs out of it, and then they go and sell it to who? The Black American woman. The Black American woman is the most powerful woman. Black American women are very, very powerful, and then they go now they sell it to the African women too, but you know this was a Black American thing. This is very spiritual. And so now the Black American woman, she goes and purchased this Mongolian Hindu, was it the wig that's coming from some, that was dedicated to a god from another woman, to a god from a temple, ancient, one of these, some of these primordial gods, and then given to the Black American woman. And then these Black women, they put ritual on that hair. It be stuff on that hair. Then you don't know the epigenetic marker and the DNA of that woman that it came off of. You don't know their bloodline or shit they got involved in. You don't know. And so you have to purify that hair. You have to purify any human hair wig you wear on top of your head, on top of your crown chakra. Your ass had better saged it. Your ass had better put some dragon blood or something. You better purify that with shit, or wash it with some sea salt, something. You know, so don't put nobody to put these wigs on your head, but you got to know where you're getting this hair from. But some of these women are on game. So they made an average Black woman, maybe they don't know. Maybe they just buy this, oh, they gonna take $1,200 and buy them a fucking wig and just put it on their head, and they look cute. Oh, it's cute. They gonna lay their baby hairs down, their edges down. No, but some of these Black women are witches. And some of these Black women are very spiritual. They're priestesses. And they know exactly where they're getting that damn head from, hair from, and what temple it's coming from, and everything over in India. Let's be real. Or where is what God in them been cut to. The girl that gave it up. Some of these Black women are on motherfucking game. Some of them women, these Black women's, they make their own wig. They tell them, sell me that hair. They go right to the temple themselves. They cut out the middleman. They don't go to China and get all these wigs. They go right to that motherfucking temple and buy that hair right from the temples. And they come back over here and they make their own motherfucking wig. This is what these Black women are doing, and they making it to cover up and they keep their hair in a protective style, and then put the damn wig on top of their crown chakra, over their chakras, over and they got it laid. They done charge the hair. They done put crystals on and had it setting overnight. Done wash the bitch with sea salt and pit sop and all types of shit. Now I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. And then they go into they set up their home. If they smart enough, they go set up their own whole little shop and make their own motherfucking wigs and sell it to the other Black women for $2,000, $3,000 a pop. But they don't make no mistake about it. Some of these Black women, they know. Wendy Williams was one of them that knew. That's why she was obsessed with $15,000 wigs. Nicki Minaj to get $10,000, $20,000 wigs, and you see, some of the Black women, they got real long hair underneath them wigs. And they got hair to go all the way down to their ass, and they still doing that. A lot of it is a spiritual practice for Black women. This is stuff that they don't tell Black men. Some of it is self-hate. Some of it is definitely, some of it is not spiritual. Some of it is coming from a place of, it's not a protective style. It's not, it's not none of that. Some of it is a form of pathology around being uncomfortable with our own hair. But some of the women, again, some of the ones in the know, they're gonna they have protective style. These are the ones that you see, they already have very healthy head of hair. They have very, very long hair. Maybe sometimes they may even, if they have a medical issue with alopecia. I'm not talking about that. I'm not judging women that have alopecia. I'm talking about, because sometimes those women are very spiritual and powerful too, and they still wear, a wig, but this idea of the covering of the minor chakras of the head, comes from, obviously Tignan laws, programming, some kind, that is an element of it. Why you see a lot of Black women cover up their heads, but also it's always been a spiritual practice. Wig wearing is very ancient practice. You've seen it in Egypt, you've seen it in Africa, you've seen it in Americas. Black women had always been wearing motherfucking wigs since the beginning of the time. Um, and it's white women used to wear a lot of wigs too during the Victorian age. They used to the queens, the priestesses, the queens. They used to always cover their heads with a wig. And so wig wearing is ancient, is nothing new. Now do we take it to the extreme? And does it have underbelly to it in terms of the subconscious effects of wearing another woman's epigenetics? I put a video of part one and part two about weave wearing, and so while I do encourage us to embrace our hair and whatnot, I think I was a little too harsh in that video because it was revealed to me, just for me studying black women, that a lot of these black women, they're not, they want protective styles. They don't want, like, our hair is very fragile to the elements, wind, pillows, uh, sex. Like, our hair is very fragile to the elements of this day to day. Everybody sheds about 100 to 200 strands of hair. So, and black people's hair, melanated people's hair, nine ether hair, coiled hair is sensitive. Believe it or not, it is. You may think, oh, it's coily, oh, it's strong because it's nappy, as they say, quote unquote nappy. No, it's actually the most fragile. It's fragile hair, and so as far as breakage, being prone to breakage, that's why a lot of the black boys, they always keep their hair cut. And you ever look at a black boy's hair, black man's hair that has even like a little tiny bush, but they keep it cut all the time. You notice they never have not one motherfucking split in ever, ever have a motherfucking split in ever, because they're constantly keeping it trimmed, constantly, and they keeping it trimmed, keeping it groomed. It's thick, and it's why they always have healthy gray. They have healthy heads of hair, unless they hair start falling out or something. But a lot of the reason why the black boys have like such thick hair is because of those trims, and because they're keeping it short and groomed with and picking it out very very suddenly. But um, they never have any split ends. Because their hair is already fragile enough. They were to grow it out and have to grow afros and stuff. They would have to take care of it so much more, because you start to see breakage. You start to see split ends in black boys' hair. That's why afros, like afros start thinning out, and you start seeing breakage or whatever, because um, it's fragile hair. And and so knowing that, well, that's why a lot of the black girls in the natural hair movement were doing protective styles, because we started to realize our hair was so fragile. I have natural hair, and so even when you're doing, I flatten my hair with a flat iron, straighten my hair with a flat iron, you still see breakage. You'll still see these strands. If you wear your hair down, if you wear your hair out, and you comb it or you brush it, you'll start to see the strands, the 200 to 100 strands. And so that is why the black girls wear the protective style. And then some of the women, they wear the wigs. And they know, again, some of these women, they know that they go to these temples. They know if they don't go, they know where the hair come from. If they don't physically go and travel over to India, they'll know that, okay, that hair came from the temple that was dedicated to Durga, and that girl, this girl had decided to, give her hair. And they sometimes they'll even get some information on the family that it come from, and they'll buy that hair, and they'll make a motherfucking wig out of it. They'll make a wig out of it for their own hair. They're very conscious about this. And in Egypt, the women would dedicate their hair to the priestesses and to the queens, long hair, so that they can make their wig. And they would fast. These women would fast before they're dedicating their hair. These women would be of a certain pedigree. This is a real deep science here when you wearing somebody else's motherfucking hair. And that's why I don't wear human hair, because I'm not going to do all the research to figure out where. But I'm just saying, I know some black women that do. I know that there were black women doing this. Me personally, I don't have time for all that. I'm not judging it. I think it's very, very clever. Actually, I think if I was to do the human hair thing, that is the way I would do it. I would go and be researching where the fucking hair come from, who head it came off, what temple it came out of. It was his, what, you know what I mean? uh, horse's hair or something. But even the synthetic hair, you have to be careful because the synthetic hair has chemicals, canicolon and all that stuff. And so even you have to find a fiber that is eco-friendly, and they're making. I think there's a black owned company that is making like an eco-friendly hair. Like I forgot, I don't want to say it's like bamboo, but they don't found the way to make some type of a black girl found the way to make like wigs and weaves and braiding hair out of um out of some type of material that's not going to cause breakages and allergic reactions and that's carcinogenic. They found the way. I gotta look that up again. I think I had it researched somewhere, but it's very interesting. And so I'm not shaming anybody that does wear wigs. I'm just saying a lot of times that a lot of those, if you're going to do that, why don't you transmute that energy? And so making it like more of like, okay, no, having the knowledge of covering of the minor chakras of the head and being more cognizant of where the hair is coming from. And or you could just wear a head wrap. A lot of the black women wear head wraps, spiritual head wraps. Again, you want to be careful because say you go to Africa, a lot of some of the black American women's and even African women's, they love the various head wraps from Africa. Certain African patterns, those carry Ndinkra codes, and Ndinkra codes are very sacred patterns that are representative of quantum physics. And so when you're putting a head wrap on your head, you need to know what kind of Adinkra codes are on the African pattern. You guys see them African patterns, and they look so cool with them head wraps. A lot of that will be Adinkra patterns. It's quantum mechanics, computational algorithms. This is an ancient practice. They don't tell people that. You have to actually be studied in this. This is something that I've studied. I have a video on this channel called Adinkra Codes. Look that up so you can understand what I'm talking about. So when you wrap your heads with this shit, you have to understand what symbols are you wrapping on your head. That's all I'm saying. There's powerful symbols, but if like the one that said no one but God, there's a Nikko code that means no one but God, and it looks like a traditional kente head wrap. You wouldn't know. You just think, oh, that's cute, cute patterns. Oh, that's some cute patterns, and it's relating to someone's esoteric sciences. That's an ancient science. And so, what I would say for the black girls that want to wrap their heads and stuff, just study what it means and see if that's your intention or not, and if it aligns with your intention and it aligns with your higher self, then you get it, or you make your own. You got a favorite shirt, you could make your own little head wraps. You see a pattern that you like, you make your own stuff, Um, I'm all in the business of making your own shit, making your own little cool stuff. And I like the little beanies and little I used to wear they have I like luxurious looking shit. So like they used to have like these caps with like the jewels, gold jewels with the it's obviously not real diamonds, but like the crystal jewels on the cap. I like that type of stuff. Like they have all types of things that you could use to cover your head up with, and so if you need to, if you're a black woman and you're feeling sensitive when you're outside, or you're feeling sensitive in the house, you're feeling sensitive, you feel people are sending these psychotronic thoughts, you cover the head physically, or you can create an astral helmet. Just create an astral helmet as well. If you don't, sometimes you don't want to cover your head with a physical apparatus or physical device. You want so you can do it astrally as well. And so how long have I been talking? 34 minutes. Okay. Yes, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for coming. We're going to do one more video for the chakra series, and that's going to relate to the eyes, the energetic fields around the eyes. And so I'll talk to you later. God bless. Oh, matter of fact, I want to put my links. I keep forgetting to do this, guys. It's just that I'm a teacher. I just like to come on here and teach my shit and keep it moving. But I'll put my links if you want a spiritual reading with me. You are more than welcome to check me out. You can reach out to me through my website, nakti.us. I'll put the exact link in here. You can book a reading, schedule a time that is comfortable for you, a day and time that is comfortable for you, or you can book on Etsy as well, or you can call the number. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay. And we could do live chat. You can pre-record it, reading, live reading via phone, or even video, live video as well. And so I'll be back. I'll take a 5-minute break, and then I'm gonna come back with the other topic of the video. That's gonna be the last one. We're still doing a tarot reading for today, for the week of next week. The weekly tarot video, we still do that, and then we'll do. I want to talk some shit about some, just I be doing sometimes I do commentary on stuff. And there's the links to my books, and here's the link to Ninth University. And so you guys have a great weekend if I don't see you on the other video. Bye.